gonna do the get ready for the day routine. It's gonna be a good one, gonna be a good day. They're kittens. So today we're gonna be doing a little more with some balancing, and I also wanna do a little bit more of, so exciting news, we're gonna be posting the beginner choreography either tonight or tomorrow at the very latest. And so it's some of the things that are going to be in there, and it's going to be a chore that anybody can do. So we're going to go through it in the workshop very, very slowly. We're going to repeat things, and it's just a little thing to get you all started if you've never done that kind of thing before. That kind of to get the feeling for performance and for doing something that's pre-planned, so you know you already go out there knowing every step you're going to do, and music is great. I'm sure you know this one, or maybe you don't, but it's nice. It's actually a bachata, but we're gonna kind of dance it freestyle Latin. I thought it would be a good one to start with because the text is very understandable and has a nice steady beat. So we're gonna start with that one and see how it goes. But we're gonna use the skills we've learned in these morning routines, and we're going to add a few, but we're going to keep it, the important thing is going to be to show feeling, to bring your emotions to the audience, because even if you've got wild technique and you do everything amazing, if you don't have facial expression, if you don't have body expression, it's just going to be flat. People, be bored after 10 seconds. So what you really want to do is work a lot with your interpretation and your upper body movement and your face and where you're looking and what you want to say, the story you want to tell to the audience. So that's actually what we're going to be focusing on, and of course we're going to be learning the steps, and hello. And so if you're just joining, we're waiting for Ari, so this is just like a pre-warm-up. Maybe we'll do just a little bit to, while we're waiting. I was just saying that. So we're going to be doing the beginner choreo to Señorita. It's like a super duper song. And so if you remember the side step, we're going to be doing, we need that one. And we're actually going to be using, if you remember our weight shift exercise, where we're having our square here and we're sliding it over a flat surface from side to side, we're going to be actually using that in our dance because it's something we know and it's a nice kind of smooth movement. We're going to be adding a little bit of arms to it, a little bit of pizzazz and that kind of thing. And what I want it to be is kind of a storytelling. So you've got, a man and woman singing, and so I want us to kind of interpret the characters of each, so it's like we have two faces in this one piece. We've got, we're gonna try and dance with their voices and the character of their voices, and then we're gonna switch over within the same piece and dance a little bit differently. So yeah, no, we're going to do some balancing today in the morning routine, but we're not in this piece because the thing about balance is in performance, it's always like stage fright never goes away. Like ever. So, it's always like, there's always going to be small mistakes going on. So unless you're super, super secure and you've been performing a lot and you feel you don't want to put a lot of balances in, because that's one thing. When under pressure, that's where something can go wrong. So we're going to keep it with stuff that we know we can do. And we're gonna practice it a lot. I need you to practice it at home though too, because if you practice it enough, it's gonna become muscle memory. And even if you completely black out, if you got somebody watching or an audience, you're gonna find your legs just keep moving. They already know what to do. And even if they don't, you just keep your face, and nobody's gonna know the difference, because only you know the choreography. So that is what we're going to be putting up either tonight or tomorrow latest. And the second installment of the Staying Alive, which is the other choreography workshop, we're going to be doing the next part of that. I'm sorry it's taking so long. I didn't mean for it to take that long, but that this piece, the music is fantastic. That's so danceable, but the way it talked to me, there was like kind of a lot of smaller steps and a lot of body movement into it. So that's kind of what I wanted to work out, to make sure that I had everything, kind of the way I think is aesthetic before I brought it to you guys. So if you're here, and we're waiting for Ari, if you're just joining. She'll be here very, very, very shortly, I hope. But you can always loosen your knees a little. Yeah, do some little things, elbow lifting. We're going to be working on that today. We're going to be doing a fair bit of arms. So the other thing you remember how when we hold our hips steady, and we're swaying a little bit at the top. So we've got this one where it's just our shoulders and this is steady. But we're also going to be doing kind of a sway where we're doing our weight change, right? That we normally do with kind of our knees bend. But this time we're going to be still trying to keep our hips pretty square, but we're going to be going from side to side. But we're not going to finish when we get there. We're going to keep going with our bodies. And we're going to try and keep our head up and just push out our side a little to make that more of a flowy movement. See if I stop here, it's not going to be as flowy as if I go here and then my body keeps going. And the same thing to the other side. We'll go over here and the body keeps going. So it makes a much bigger movement. So that's one of the things we're going to be doing. And we're going to be doing quasi-bachata, which we're going to do in the morning routine after we finish merengue. But the side step that we've learned, we're going to be using that. But not too many complicated steps. We're just really going to be, it's going to be more of a walking choreo, but focusing on the arms and that expression. So hope that you will join us for that. And anyway, I'm so sorry about the delay. I'm hoping she's going to be here any second, and we'll pop right back on and get going with the morning routine. And you don't want to miss this one, because we are going to start to prepare some of that and also work on our balance, because balance is one of those things that as life progresses, that if you don't practice it, it really does start to deteriorate, and you put yourself at risk of falling. Particularly, if you drop something, you have to pick it up off the floor, or you have to get up from somewhere or climb up somewhere. You want to have that inner balance to keep yourself safe. So we're going to be working on that as well as our other stuff, but we may have to hustle through a little quicker today. But we're not going to skip over that, and we're not going to skip over the dancing part because now we're going to need a lot of it. So my flare flies, I'm going to be popping right back on again very shortly, and I'll be right back. Oh, a book or a podcast is recommended. I have to think fast. I can't think about that fast. I love to read, so there are a gazillion books that I like. I love history. So there was one book that I thought was just great. It was historical fiction, written some time ago, and I think it was banned at the time, although in today's standards, it's very tame. It's called Forever Amber by Kathleen Winsor, and it's about the Restoration period in England when so there was a civil war and the king got beheaded and his son fled out of the country, and then after I forget how many years he came back. And his reign was kind of like one big house party. And this is the story of a girl who kind of works her way to the top through a winding stair, as they say. But I just think it's magnificent. It really gives the feeling of the times. So it's long. It's a big book, but I do recommend it. It's just fascinating. So my flare flies. I will be jumping on again very shortly. See you very soon. Bye-bye.